Art of War, Art of War, Art of War, Art of War.
From Springfield, Pennsylvania, fans, he is
Andre Petroski. I fight at 185 pounds at a 302 BJJ. I grew up wrestling my whole life. My dad was the wrestling coach. So, you know, from the age of where I was too young to be wrestling, he would always bring me along. And then I slowly got into it. My dad was also a black belt in, you know, karate, and I didn't have like the patience for karate, but that still was kind of like my foot in the door. And when wrestling was over, I began fighting. In high school, I wrestled for Springfield. I had 3 state medals. I was in the state finals. I broke all the wins records for Springfield, Delaware County, Central League. I wrestled at University of North Carolina on a full scholarship. I ended up transferring. I finished at Kutztown, made a trip to the national tournament, finished college with 97 wins. Nationals was over in like March. I still had 2 months of school left. You know, I partied for about a week and was like, you know, I gotta do something. And I knew a couple guys that had wrestled at Kutztown that were doing jiu-jitsu now. And I started going to Berks County Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Reading. And I mean, I fell in love immediately. And there was a kid that was training there that I used to wrestle with growing up, and I knew that he had fights, and I knew that he had a fight coming up. And you know, I asked him about it, how to get on the card, and he was like, message this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, well, you know, I gotta go work on some striking, work on some MMA. So that's when I walked into 302 and said, you know, what's up guys, you know, I wanna fight. I have a fight in 30 days and I've never really trained MMA before. And at the time, Joe Stripling was the coach there. He was like, you know, what's your background? I was like, I wrestled in college. He was like, perfect, we got you. Like, we're gonna do this. And I took my first fight at the Borgata and, you know, sold the place out and, you know, got a first round finish. So that was really when I fell in love for the first time.
First and foremost, of course, you got to worry about his wrestling. You know, very high level wrestler, strength, real strong kid. Jiu-jitsu is very good. Anybody can win, you know what I mean? But you know, you find out when you're a fighter when you take that loss and how you recover from it. And again, like I said, I've been there through losses with Andre, and he's always recovered and just picked right back up on the horse and step it up to the next level. So definitely, I think he can get to, you know, to that elite level and compete there.
There's really, I don't think that when you fight me, there's one thing that you can focus on. You know, for example, like I fought Andrew Johnson. That was either my second title fight as an amateur, and you know, he had said like, oh, he's been focusing his whole camp on, you know, wrestling defense and, you know, jiu-jitsu defense, blah, 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 and like I knocked him out in the first round. So you talked to Tuxford after that fight and you know, submitted him in the first round or whatever, and you're like, well, you know, what happened, blah, blah, blah. He was like, dude, once he grabbed me, like, it was a strength that like I've never felt before. And like, people like can like hear that and understand, but like, you know, until you feel it, it's like when I in fights, like when I when I have people on the ground, they're no longer fighting, they're kind of just bracing for like what's about to come. And so like, that's where my grappling has been all along, and I'm really starting to feel like my striking is starting to develop that type of power. It's not there yet, but like, I'm starting to break into that power that I have in grappling.
He's always willing to take criticism and, you know, take instruction and add that, you know, and you don't see that a lot with guys that have done well in, you know, let's just say grappling or striking. You know, you try to tell them something and they just kind of whatever because they know or they've done it. And Andre's not that guy. He's a good dude that, you know, he takes what you say, takes the criticism, takes everything and processes it, and then puts it out into, you know, into his game.
On that weightlifting model.
That right hook is beautiful though.
They gotta tear me away from the weight room.
So right now, one of my coach's sons is, he's in the hospital. His name's Jet and his dad's name's Eddie Hall. And there's a GoFundMe page online right now. And you know, we're just trying to rally as much support as possible. You know, I think as a community, he deserves our support and we should help him.